All right, welcome to this video. We're going to go over the Unity editor in this one. So go ahead from your Unity hub. We're going to, again, open up our editor right here. Click on our Game Jam template. Sorry, we're going to open up our project, which is inside the Unity editor. So you have the Unity hub and you have the Unity editor. And then we're going to, inside the Unity hub, select Game Jam template or whatever your project name is. And you're going to see it pop up and open. Now I'm going to explain this a little bit more in depth, hopefully to give you a better understanding of what you're looking at and why it's important. So the first thing you want to do is look at the menus up top. You have File. Here you're going to Save and Save Project. Save is for saving the scene or the object's placement, whereas Save Project is for saving your folders inside your project. So whenever you save, you want to go Save. So you go like, you do like this. You go File, Save Project. That's what you'd want to do. Now, to the right of that, or before we go to the right of that, we have build settings. This is important for building and deploying it onto the internet, or you could change the place or the platform you're building towards and do Universal or Windows right here to create an exe file that you could give to people and they could play your game or sell it, either one. But and also one other thing inside your build settings, you want to make sure you have your levels right here, or else they won't get built into the game, and then you won't be able to do like level transitions. So that's the build settings. And then you have to the right of file, so you have save project, and then you have build settings. Build and run will build the game. So if you click this, it's going to do stuff and slow down Unity while it tries to do those things. So to the right of file, we have edit. We have regular things like copy, paste, undo, which is Control Z. An important one in here is duplicate, so Control D. The reason why that's important is it makes it easy to um, build things within the world. I'll just show you by not using that one. We'll go 3D object cube, and then if I wanted to add multiple cubes, I could do this easily by hitting Control D, and then I could select all of them with Shift or Control. And if I wanted, I could hit Control D again, and now you can see I'm starting to build like multiple things at once. That's just kind of how you can use Control D or the hotkey to duplicate, or you can select an object and go Edit Duplicate, but that's the slower way. Also, another important thing you have in here is project settings. You can go to project settings, and I'll just tell you about this because we're not going to alter anything in here, but basically this is where you set up key aspects of your game. So like if you're targeting a specific graphics level, or you're wanting to make your player work better or optimize your player, which is, it's not the player like the player character, it's the player like the player of the game, like the thing that is playing the game. It's the thing that wraps around your game and makes the game run. Then you also have in here, what's the other thing that's important? Input manager. This is how your inputs come in. So like if you look at horizontal right here, left, right, A, D, remember our WASD keys from the last video? When you're moving around and you hit WASD, your A and D are right here, and the code is looking for this tag to be called in order to move the character. That's what this is for. So basically this is all just like setting up your project file or your project and how everything works within your project. Case in point, it's named project settings. Then you have your assets. This can be good for like working with other people. You can create packages and things and send it to them. You can also generate lighting in here, which is good if you're baking lighting, which is good for optimization because the more you have to calculate real time, the more stress it puts on the computer. But generating lighting is good right here. You have game objects, which I showed you. You can create those out here, but you can also create them right here if you want. Components, same things. I can create it out here. Notice effects are right here. Under components, we also have effects right here. And you can basically access all this stuff in here as well just by right clicking. Then you have services. This is for tools. This is more advanced stuff. And then you have tools right next to it. And then you have window. Window is important because if you were to close, say, your console window right here, if you were to close it, so if I close this tab or lose it somehow, I can go to Window, General, Console, and I can get back this tab right here. And then I can slide it into place by grabbing the console and dragging it where I want to put it. And that's how you put a console back where it goes. Now, one other thing inside of Windows that I can cover is Asset Store will take you to the internet to look at assets online that you can purchase. There are free assets as well that you can download and then import them into your project, and that'll kind of let you use other people's assets to speed up your game creation process. Package Manager is the actual um, window that's used to import said packages. So like here, if you were to see what assets I have, they'll pop up here, and then I can load more to see more that I have that I've looked at from the Unity store. Lastly, if you want to change your sky out here in the Windows tab, you go to rendering lighting, and then inside here you have environment. And you'll notice out here, if I look out here and I change this fog, I'll lose this like fog layer right there. So that's fog in here. And then sky matte is your sky settings. And if you select the matte right here, just left click on it and then select the sky matte down here. So this takes you to the sky matte when you click here. And then you click the actual sky matte or material right there, and you'll see this pop up. So when you click sky matte, if you click off of it, it's gone. If you click sky matte or material down here, you can see this pop up. And then if I want to change this, which this is the setting that stores the sky matte in it, if I want to change this look, I can just do that right here on sky tint, change the look of it, etc. I don't want to change it, but that's where you would create a material and put it in there to change your lighting of your sky. Now, below all of that fun stuff, we have our hierarchy. The way I built out this hierarchy and the way I like to do it is we have our game music persistent. This is where I put audio files that I want to run in the game in the background. And I've attached a script on here, so if you plug in your music here, it'll automatically play at the start of the level, and it'll play randomized. When one song ends, it'll play another one randomized. And then also, if you want to not have it be persistent, in other words, when you die, the song just keeps playing, you could just move this audio source outside of it. So you could do like this, and now it'll restart the music whenever the level starts. So if I put it back inside, it'll keep running even if I die, or sorry, not die, even if I restart the level. Now, main assets. This is for things that are always in the world that I always use or always have to put in a game. So you have your game assets don't delete. There's an event system in here. It says don't delete. Probably shouldn't delete it. UI elements. These are important. They go right in front of you. There's nothing really in here right now, but eventually there will be touch controls that I'm working on. Then player controller, which is your actual player. Then you have lighting. This is important because it controls your world lighting. And like if I were to change this color, for instance, you'll see it changes the floor. Now I don't actually want to change that color, so I'll leave it alone. Then we have our game audio. This is just audio that you could store in the game right here. Below that, I have my world assets, the environment, and angle testing. You'll see angle testing's over here. It's just testing the walking of the player. Our environment's right here. Assets I've made to just test stairs and things like that. And then our gameplay assets. This is where a lot of the coded assets go. In other words, creating your game loop, bounce pads, picking up objects, all those things that actually do things within the world. Then we have our viewport to the right of that. So again, the viewport, anything out here is associated to this list. This list is a list of things that are out here. Then to move around in our viewport, we right click WASD, W-A-S-D on the keyboard, W-A-S-D, and then right click. So you got to right click and then use WASD to move around. You can hit F to focus on an object, and then right click to move around, right click and WASD to move around. And then to playtest, we can click this play button up here. So we click play right there. And you'll see this has popped up, and now we have our playtesting area. You can see we have signs. We can run over here, hold shift to run. If your shift to run is not working, I believe control also runs. So you can also control to run. Sometimes there's like a bug in Unity that causes shift to run to not work. So if that's not working for you, hit control to run. Yeah, that's basically how you move around in the world. And then also how you playtest. How do you get your mouse back and how do you stop a playtest? You hit escape, or you can hit alt tab. Alt tab will keep the camera angle, and I can mess with settings if I want. And then if you hit play, so again, escape or alt tab, get your mouse back, and then hit play, it'll stop the playtest. The cool thing about playtesting is you can adjust things in your settings. So if you have an object selected, I could hit play right here, give it a second to launch, and I have that object selected, right? So you'll notice down here, if I come down here and I move this object, like I'm like, oh, I want to move this object in the world, I can move it to where I want it to go in the world. And I could change this like -50 or 0, we'll say -50. And you'll see it's moved like way off over there. And if I want to undo it, I can just Control Z to undo to get it back to where it goes, and then escape to turn it off. But when you're in play mode, it won't save your movements or your settings, so you can test things out without having to worry about it saving or storing those settings. What else? Outside of settings, we have our project down here, our project folder. So we covered playtesting. We have our settings for objects. Adding objects again. I'll do that one more time just for you to see. You go right click, 3D object cube, right click, 3D object sphere, etc. This is how you add objects into the game, and their settings are right here. Viewport right here. And yeah, that's generally how we use it. We fly around with right click WASD and then move these to manipulate the objects, or WER to manipulate the objects. W is move, E rotate, R for scale, or click them right here. Now the other cool thing is our project folder. Inside here we have lots of our folders for game assets. This is the folder that I provide to you. The new games folder is for y'all to use to create your game within the folders. You can also make more folders inside your assets just by right clicking and going create folder. And then you can name your own folder right here, call it whatever, and then you'll see it pops up right there. But I don't want to have a weird folder named woof, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't want that folder. So this is where I created a new game asset folder, and I started it with materials and textures. But for now, this is where you can start adding folder assets or textures or things that you want to pull into the game. And then console, what's this for? It's for playtesting. Notice when we started playing, the music started. It gave us a little indicator that our music started. You also get errors in here. This is very important for figuring out bugs within a game. Yeah, that's pretty much the Unity editor. I tried to cover it quickly. Hopefully it wasn't horrible. And in the next video, I'll be going a little bit into movement and just general how to manipulate yourself within the world and better understand like that and how to like move around. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it.